He's tossed down in the backfield.
Welcome to the 2022 Draft Position Preview Series. Ethan Greenberg, Eric Allen, and Caroline Hendershot breaking down options for the Jets at all positions. And today we're talking linebackers, so it only feels natural to start with the Buckus Award winner, somebody actually, EA, who the Athletics' Dane Brugler compared to former Jet Jonathan Vilma, and that's Georgia's Nakobe Dean.
Love you getting JV in there. Nakobe Dean, just 5'11", 229 pounds, but last season Pro Football Focus named him SEC Defensive Player of the Year. 10.5 tackles for loss, always around the quarterback. 6 sacks, he had 31 quarterback hurries. Over the course of his career, 13.5 tackles for loss, 10 PDs, 3 forced fumbles. He doesn't have the measurables that a lot of scouts are looking for, but you cannot question the production. He also is a natural leader, and he was the heart and soul of the nation's top defense last season.
Nakobe Dean, not only the Buckus Award winner in college, he was also the Buckus Award winner in high school. The IQ is off the charts. Feels like he's getting a lot of the knocks that Roquan Smith got out of Georgia in terms of the measurables a couple of years ago. But last year, the Jets drafted 2 long-limbed safeties, converted both of them to linebacker. So it feels like we need to talk about Utah's Devin Lloyd. Similar path, high school safety, long-limbed, and then for the Utah Utes, he's been a fantastic linebacker.
I'm glad you mentioned the Jets' young linebackers. Don't forget about Hamza Nasruddin and Jamie and Sherwood. In Devin Lloyd, you're talking about a guy physical and aggressive, 43 in tackles for loss at Utah. That's 4th in program history. 22 tackles behind the line of scrimmage last season. He also had 8 sacks, Pac-12 Player of the Year, 3 career interception returns for touchdowns. He is a guy who is the prototypical linebacker at the next level because he is so long. He can get sideline to sideline in a hurry using few steps, and if you watch the tape, this guy's got a non-stop motor. Could be a top 10 overall selection.
Well, you said he feels like, to you it feels like he fits the modern day linebacker. I'd say he's probably a do-it-all linebacker, similar to somebody that Robert Saleh coached in San Francisco like Fred Warner. Not comparing them as players, the measurables similar, but let's have Caroline introduce us to somebody who really takes the do-it-all linebacker to another level in Montana State's Troy Anderson.
Name a position in football, and Troy Anderson has probably played it. In high school, Anderson competed as a first-team All-State quarterback and safety. He entered Montana State University with the intention of playing safety or linebacker. But as a true freshman, he switched to a running back and kicked off the 2017 season by carrying the ball. For the rest of his freshman year, he played running back and linebacker at such high levels that he earned Montana State's Freshman of the Year award. Then, when the Bobcats did not have an option for quarterback at the beginning of Anderson's sophomore year, he did what he did best, and he put the team first. He stepped into the starting quarterback role for 11 of Montana's 13 games. The 2 games he didn't start, he had a broken hand, so he played linebacker and running back for those 2 games instead. Anderson finished off his Montana State career by being named the team's Player of the Year at inside linebacker, earning All-American honors, and setting a multitude of school records. So teams that have interest in Anderson wouldn't just be getting a great teammate and good player when they draft him. They'd be getting a jack of all trades.
Yeah, I actually think jack of all trades probably is an understatement. I mean, he had a great career as a whole, but also, how about this? Just in 2021, 147 tackles. Not to mention the speed that he possesses is phenomenal. 4.42 in the 40-yard dash in Indianapolis, the fastest among all linebackers in attendance. The Jets actually coached him up at the Senior Bowl, which is a big advantage when we're talking about the draft, much like the next guy we're going to talk about, Chad Mumma, tackling machine out of Wyoming.
All right, can I be selfish just for a second?
Of course.
I was disappointed the Jets didn't have the opportunity to coach up Devin Lloyd at the Senior Bowl. Unfortunately, he didn't come down there. But we talked about Lloyd before. Chad Mumma, the Jets have a lot of experience with him. The past 2 seasons at Wyoming, 11-plus tackles he averaged. He's always around the football, 3 interceptions last season, 2 of which he returned for a touchdown over the course of his career. 8 tackles for loss, and he's done this all, the production, despite having type 1 diabetes, and that's something he has to deal with. Has an insulin pump there on the practice field in case he needs it. Mumma's going to come in, might not be a starter day 1 for teams, but don't forget about special teams because he could be a backup linebacker for teams ultimately end up being a starter down the line, but he's going to be a core special teamer right off the bat. He has a nose for the football. He flies around.
The Jets linebacker room right now, it's an interesting one. C.J. Mosley had a career year last year. Quincy Williams really came on strong. He had a career year. We talked about Hamza Nasruddin, Jamie Sherwood. So, Caroline, do Jets fans want a linebacker in this draft? And if so, who are we talking about?
Well, Ethan, a lot of our fans on Twitter responded to us and said they want Nakobe Dean in the first round or Chad Mumma in the third round. But we did have some honorable mentions of Christian Harris out of Alabama and Leo Chenal out of Wisconsin. So.
All right, great. That's great stuff. You know, I'm not surprised about the Chad Mumma love. Great name. Almost as good of a name as JoJo Domann out of Nebraska.
JoJo Domann, another guy who can move there. Nakobe Dean likely, though? What do you think? Probably around the 20 range, right? So if the Jets stick at 4 and 10, their next pick is at 35.
Yeah, I feel like if the draft were tomorrow and you were to pick one linebacker in round 1 that fits what the Jets want to do, would probably be Devin Lloyd, right?
I'd agree with that.
All right, so there you have it. There's the linebackers. And if you want more coverage of the draft, be sure to stick right here on NewYorkJets.com.